I was talking to a few teammates that I was like, yeah, I'm on this podcast with the American record holder in the beer mile. And then we all started talking about the beer mile and we're just like, what do you think we could run in it? And I think I sparked some interest. So who knows when that would happen, but I'd be very interested to see like what I could do or what anyone on our team could do.
Which female and which male on the Bowerman Club is the most wild or like the biggest partier in the off season?
Ooh.
Welcome back to another episode of the Beer Mile Podcast. I'm your co-host Chris, along with my co-host Adam. Today we have an interview with Karissa Schweizer of the Bowerman Track Club. She's a world-class runner, probably doesn't need a whole lot of an introduction. She's won several national titles. She's run 14:26 for the 5K. She set the 3,000 meter indoor American record with a time of 8:25 this past winter. She's an Olympic hopeful, potentially an Olympic medalist, absolute beast of a runner. And it was great to get a little insight into both her running career and also her life outside of running as well.
We talked to Karissa about Kodiak Cakes, why I'm burning mine on the pan, insights into Bowerman Track Club, her plans for the 21 season and the Olympic trials, and the potential for the Bowerman Track Club beer mile.
I mean, I'm most excited about the beer mile, not gonna lie.
Obviously.
Be pretty hyped to see the Bowerman Track Club get together for a beer mile after the 2021 Olympics. We'll put money on the line. I'll race them if they'll have me. It'll be a good time. So we get into all of that with Karissa, and then after the interview with Karissa, we will talk about the beer of the week, as well as we're gonna throw a little challenge at our sister podcast, Peak Too Early. The boys over at Peak Too Early, another good podcast, kind of a similar vibe to us in a way, but I think we need to throw a little challenge at them and make things interesting. So stick around to the end of the interview with Karissa, and we'll get into some of that. Without further ado, here is Karissa Schweizer of the Nike Bowerman Track Club. We're excited to have you on. Welcome to the show, Karissa.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Awesome. To kick things off, how have the last few months been for you training, especially, post the Olympic trials being moved to 2021? Did that kind of change your a day in your normal life and how you're approaching training and all of that? Or are you still kind of keeping business as usual in preparation for next year?
Yeah, it's been a weird year to say the least. I think just having everything postponed, we just kind of took it as an opportunity. For me being like on the younger side, it's been nice that I can just work towards just becoming a better athlete, and having this whole last summer of just chasing times and chasing records was a huge confidence booster for me. And I'm excited to take that into this next year. And the fall training has been pretty much like all the basics that we normally do. I think the only hard part is that we don't really know what we're shooting for right now, like in the recent future at least. But it's been fun just having like the team together and training. At least we can do that right now. I don't know. I know Portland's going into another shutdown, so I don't know what the like next few weeks look like, but for now it's going well.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And do you normally train with all of your teammates on a daily basis, or are you kind of grouped off in smaller groups already, just kind of your typical way of training?
Yeah, normal times we're usually all together. Like Jerry loves just like the team aspect of everything. So we'll just do our whole fall base, just like every workout just together, like grinding it out. And I just really enjoy that just because it just feels more like team aspects to it, like college team. But once we get down to like the end of the season, we're pretty much event based and separated off. And it's usually groups of like 3 to 5, and we'll all just like work out on the same day, but we'll just come to the track at different times. So that's definitely a little different, but we'll all do our normal runs together.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps a lot with motivation too. I know like a lot of people this year, especially without races, motivation's definitely a big it's a tough thing to get motivated for, not knowing what you're training for, but I'm sure it helps a lot having a few others that you're consistently running with on a daily basis to, help keep each other accountable as well.
Oh yes, for sure. Without them, it would be very difficult to be training during these times.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Looking back on, your college career, you really had like an aggressive acceleration in terms of like, you had the initial talent, you kind of like exploded from your freshman year, I think placing like 155th at XC Nats to third the next year, something insane like that. Talk about like when did you first know that you had a shot at a professional running career?
Yeah. So making nationals my freshman year was honestly that was a huge accomplishment in itself. I placed 17th, I think, at SECs like the week prior to regional. So my coach was just basically like, you just got to go out there and like see what you can do. And so ended up making nationals, and he's like, I did not expect that, but this is awesome. And so just racing nationals as a freshman was just very overwhelming because I've never raced people that good before. Yeah. And obviously got lost in the mix and placed 155th, and actually didn't make cross nationals the following year. And my coach, I just remember like after, because I think my sophomore year I placed third at nationals in track, and he's just like basically telling me like, he's like, you're gonna win cross one day, and he's just like positive of it. And it was just crazy to just hear that and then actually have that happen. Just put a lot of faith and like trust into him, and having him just like have all these outlandish goals for myself like made me like kind of reevaluate that and really just like shoot for just out there goals and just see what happens.
Yeah. So when you were like in your junior, senior year of college, did you at that time, was the plan to become a professional runner, or were you still also thinking of, alternatives in a career and a different path outside of running as well?
Yeah, I think mostly my junior, senior year was when I really just started shifting focus on really just professional running. I think after winning cross nationals was when I like literally was like, okay, I want to make this a thing. And I still remember I called my dad, like, I think it was that winter afterwards. I was like talking to him and I was like, yeah, I think I just really want to do professional running instead of, because for a while I was talking about maybe going to grad school or what my next step was. And he was like, I don't know, maybe you should think about grad school, and kind of just shot down it a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. Like that wasn't the response I was looking for. But then like a day later, he calls me and he's like, you know what? I changed my mind. He's like, you only have like such a short time to like live this dream. He's like, even if you're like scraping by, like I say, you go for it. So I think just getting that confirmation from him and getting like just people around me, like my coach and like my grandparents, everyone was just super supportive of it. So I think from then on, it was just like, okay, let's just try to find the best like group for me and the best like sponsorship from there.
Yeah. What was your degree in?
Mine was in health science. I was looking at being like a dietitian or going back to grad school and doing something with that degree. I wasn't positive yet, but yeah.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back.
Yeah. You can always go back to academia at any time in your life. So exactly. I think that's a pretty good choice, at least from my perspective, of taking advantage of your youth and seeing where you can go with running while you're able to.
Yes.
So when you were in the final year of college, kind of figuring out where to pursue your professional running career, who all were you in talks with for, groups that you were looking at joining, brands that you were talking to about shoe contracts, and what made you ultimately end up with Nike and Bowerman?
Yeah, haven't really been asked that too much on podcasts, but I was looking at Reebok. Actually, they had the new group up and coming, right. And so that was an option. And then I looked and visited some coaches in Boston, my college coach was good friends with a couple people out there. So whenever I went and raced like a 5K out there, we just kind of met up with coaches as well. And ultimately, I didn't really want to live in Boston. So that was a big turning point from that. And then we just kind of shifted focus on Bowerman was just doing amazing at the time I was looking. And I feel like they really went off that summer. It was like American record after American record. And that was pretty hard to look away from. And Reebok, I do have to admit, they did a very good job. I went and visited with them. And I remember just like talking to Jerry afterwards and being like, this is a real possibility. I like it out here. And he right away, like I just left a voicemail. And if anyone knows, Jerry does not get back very fast. And he got back to me in less than a minute and just like calling me being like, this is why you need to come here, blah, blah, blah. And he's so passionate about the sport and about where he believed that I could be, that it was hard not to go with him, because he just coached all these athletes to do these like amazing things that I was watching, and just to have that kind of faith in athletes and see that potential, it was like really exciting. So ultimately I wanted to come out here. I visited the team and really liked everyone. It seemed more like a really good fit for me, like very team oriented, and I wanted to give altitude a try, and they're very into their altitude training, as I've found out.
Yep.
It's not easy, and it still isn't easy, but I enjoy it. It's definitely puts like a more like difficult aspect onto the sport, but kind of fun and challenging.
Yeah, what kind of like adjusting to Bowerman, what kind of challenges have you found from your college training to now?
Yeah, there's been quite a few challenges to overcome, but I think like my first year I was able to navigate those very well, because I actually lived with Courtney Ferrix for a little bit, and I feel like she helped me a lot, just kind of like bypass that curve of like that learning curve that you have. And she was just 3 years into the program and just kind of was giving me a bunch of like tips and tricks, and we made a bunch of like dinners together. She taught me how to like cook better and actually like enjoy healthy food.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like learning from her, learning from everyone on the team was huge for me, because it was just like upping my volume in workouts, upping my volume in like weekly mileage, and then just adapting to altitude. They were all just like 3 big changes, and I just kind of took it piece by piece. I think my first altitude camp wasn't anything special, and I kind of dug myself into a hole. And then I realized from there, like, I have to take it easy in the beginning, and I need to feel good up to this point, and then I can like work hard and really progress. But my main goal of the whole first year was just to stay healthy. So I was very consistent in the fact of, if anything was bothering me, I would be like trying to take care of it as soon as possible, just because we had the resources, we had the time, and there's just like, I think for me, the biggest thing of my career is that I've been able to stay very healthy. And so I just wanted to keep that. And that was my college coach's main advice, was he's like, just stay healthy. He's like, you're so good right now that he's like, whatever minor like things you need to change, he's like, just try to stay healthy.
Yeah, definitely. Consistency, very important. As far as like a lifestyle change, going from college to professional running, I mean, in college you have classes and you know, homework, etc. Did you find that it was easier to focus on the training more with those pieces of your life cut out? Or were you, I guess, at the end of college, or were you so focused on running anyway that was kind of your main priority? So the amount of time that you were now spending as a professional runner doing all of those extra things, kind of just basically replacing the school time with all of the additional workout time?
I would say kind of torn in between both, because you leave like the school aspect, you're just like, I want to be done. I want to be done so bad. And then when you're actually done with school, you're just like, what now?
Yeah.
You're just like, you had this like I don't know, I've had tests and exams for I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like, well, there's nothing to do. And started getting into like Netflix more and stuff like that. But honestly, school's kind of a nice distraction at times. And I learned that first year that you really do have to like find things to keep busy and just kind of still exercising your mind, because you can go just a little stir crazy at times.
Mm-hmm.
And now though, I feel like I filled up my time a lot with just like podcasts and PT and everything else. I'm just like, where did all the time go in my first couple of years? But it's been good. I really enjoy it. And I definitely can't go back to school with how life is now, but I do appreciate the like just having that escape at times is nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think we both talk about like now being farther removed from college, how it's like the thought of going back and having to do classes and tests again is like crazy. But it is so weird making that transition at first, because that's all you know for your entire life. And then it's just now it's just weird to think about, man, I would never want to go back and do all those tests again. That was terrible.
No.
but you do have a cat now. You have,
yes.
a cat or two cats. One is your roommate's, I think.
Yes. So we have two cats. One of them's with us right now, which is mine. And then her cat is coming out here in like 2 weeks, I believe, but they're brothers. So we're really excited to get them back together. We actually got them in college. It was supposed to be one cat. And then of course we ended up with two, but we love them. So we're excited to have them reunited.
It's Simba and Milo.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried to do like combination names, but Milo, and then no one wanted Otis, and then Simba, and no one wanted Mufasa. So we just took those.
We were thinking about like, so I have a puppy and her name is Nala, and we were thinking about bringing her on the podcast, but she's kind of fussy. So
that's my dream. I want to get a puppy and name it Nala, because I was like, Simba and Nala would be so cute.
We'll have a reunion one day. They'll meet.
Too cute.
You mentioned cooking, and I know that seems to be a hobby of yours, and you mentioned learning, how to cook and eat healthy, etc. kind of as joining the Bowerman Club. I'm curious, kind of overall your thoughts on, diet as a runner. Is it something that you really focus on? Is it something that you are a little bit more lax on, is just as long as you're, overall kind of eating healthy and getting mostly good things, but still, enjoying other tasty food as well? How strict are you on that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not as strict as people think I am on it. I often get asked like how healthy you're, like how do you eat like dessert? Because I'm always posting like sweets on my Instagram. Yeah. Like, I don't get how you're getting away with all this. And I'm like, I'm running like 90 miles a week. I'm like, I can have a couple brownies. Like
I can do whatever I want.
But basically I try to eat just fuel for like dinner, everything. Like I try to eat pretty healthy and like quite a bit, because I am running so much. So I have a really bad sweet tooth, so I usually cater to that. I've learned that I am the healthiest when I have a balanced diet, like just having like a little bit of everything. If I cut out sweets or anything, it didn't go well for me like I tried it in college and it didn't go well. So I just always have to have sweets in my diet, even when we're like up intense training at altitude. Like I'm still buying like bags of chocolate chips or chocolate bars because I'm like, I need something or I'm gonna go crazy. But
definitely.
But yeah, I think I've learned that like I can cook healthy, but it doesn't have to be like salads or anything. Like it can be like, I love like pesto pasta. I love just like, I actually really like steak and just like really like nutrients, like, I don't know, stuff that can really fuel me for the long run. Because at the end of the day, like the worst feeling is being in a workout and feeling like fatigue and hunger. So I'm always just trying to like feel strong, that I can like strong enough to carry myself through the workload.
What's your go-to pre-long run breakfast?
Pancakes. I've talked about this quite a bit. I will do oatmeal for like, I don't know, some workouts and some long runs, but usually up at altitude, I'll have pancakes because we have like usually a pretty long drive to get to where we're going. And by that time, sometimes I'm like already hungry. So I've learned that pancakes stick with me very well. And I really enjoy having them before runs,
Yeah.
as people probably enjoy pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to definitely ask you about Kodiak Cakes. But while we're still on the topic of just kind of overall thoughts on diet, I'm curious, is there any room for you or anyone else in Bowerman Track Club on having beer or wine or anything like that? Or is that only an off-season thing, and in season that's a no-go?
It's actually really fun to see how people like, I don't know, restrict things or don't. There's definitely some people that are just like no alcohol at all, like, and then off season they do.
Yeah.
But then there's some people that just like to have like a little bit or like a little bit of wine here and there. It's funny, Lopez, when we're up at altitude, he'll have like 2 beers, like it's either every other Friday or every Friday, I don't remember, but he's like knocked on his butt from 2 beers.
Fair enough at altitude after running however many miles.
Yeah, so it was fun. We actually got to live with the boys this past summer, and we just had a big house, and it was just, we had a pool table and everything, so we definitely all got closer as a team, and it was pretty fun.
Awesome. And I'm sure the off-season time, I guess you've maybe only had a couple kind of off seasons with the team so far, but I'm sure that can also be a lot of fun. Does that get a little rowdy after a season is over? And also, I guess people probably kind of disperse to some extent and go to different parts of the US. But yeah, curious if you're able to give us any deets into that.
Oh, yes. I mean, we definitely enjoy our off time because we're just like, it goes so long of just restricting so much. And then finally it's the off season. And I feel like we're all just trying to get together and do something. If we're not like dispersed in different places, but I actually stayed around Portland because I was moving this past off season, and that was pretty fun. I feel like we just like did a bunch of stuff that we wouldn't normally do, and I've been really enjoying the off season, but obviously to a point where then I'm like, okay, it's time to just get serious. I'm done with this. So it's very like, I feel like that's how we're just like all in on things. So you like all in on the season, then all in on the off season, and it's like, okay, I'm done. So
good. At least you know that you're mentally reset if you get to that point where you're like, all right, it's time to get back in shape. Let's get back on training. So that's good. That's point of the off season. So
right.
I feel like a lot of us are like that. We're like, even just with everything, it's just like candy, sweets, all this, like you just indulge so much and then you're like, I'm done. Like, this is a lot.
I need to take a nap after this. I'm going to start pretty hard.
Very fun.
Let's talk a little bit about your sponsorship with Kodiak Cakes. How did that come about?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this sponsorship, but it just came about. I was in an article on Runner's World, and I was talking about how I fueled like just on a day-to-day basis. And I was like telling her, I was like, yeah, I actually eat pancakes before like some of my runs. And she was like, oh, no way, like what kind of pancakes? And then we just got into this whole discussion about Kodiak Cakes. And I was like, I love them. Like they're so easy and they're healthy. And then they DM'd me and there's like, hey, we see that you love Kodiak Cakes. We'd love to like send you some product and stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. And they sent me product, and then we train actually for altitude. A lot of the times we're in Park City, which is where they're based and where they're founded. So they reached out and they're like, we see you're in Park City, like would love to take you out to breakfast, like buy you pancakes. And I'm just like, okay, like sure. And so I go and I meet them, and they're just like, yeah, we would love to do like a like sponsorship of some sort. And we were talking about it, and it was with the like Olympic year being just like postponed and everything just being kind of strange. I thought, okay, maybe this will happen like the following year or something, but they're still very interested and they wanted to just have a longer sponsorship. And I was very for it because I was like, this is a very authentic product for me. Like I was like the kind of different sponsorship, but I was like, this is something that is very easy for me to promote. I feel like I've already been promoting it. So I was like, this is perfect.
That's awesome. And do you get sick of Kodiak Cakes at all? I'm assuming you just have Kodiak cake boxes just sitting around, like getting shipments all the time. Does it ever get old, or are you still enjoying them?
I'm still enjoying them. They actually, I feel like through the sponsorship, I've realized how much stuff they have. I was just like, I just primarily I was just mostly pancakes. And then all of a sudden they were sending me this stuff that was like the brownie mix and like this more pancakes, oatmeal, and like bars. And then one of my like favorites that people don't really know about is there's this like cookie mix, and it is so good. They're like oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and I am obsessed with them. So those are the thing to buy.
Good to know. I wasn't even aware of those actually.
Yeah, I've bought. I buy quite a bit of their pancake mix, but also their muffins are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, those are really good too. And I feel like I've tried everything now. I'm like, okay, I know. Like I've had people be like, "What should I buy?" And I'm just like, the list is like too long. I'm like, oh. So like basically it's good. You won't go wrong.
It's so great that like it feels not quite as often enough, or as often it should be, for athletes to like be sponsored by brands they believe. We talked to Nick Simmons a few episodes ago, like talking about how he had a sponsorship with Bose, and like he's well into aviation, so he like has a ton of Bose products, and they reached out to him kind of in the same way. And it's always like, I don't know, it's always fun when you get sponsored by brands that you're already using or like you already believe in.
Definitely.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to promote them.
What's your favorite flavor of Kodiak Cakes, the pancakes?
Probably the chocolate chip pancakes. You have to try them because they're just different than just adding chocolate chips into like normal pancake mix. I just feel like it's like really like sweet. I really like those ones.
Awesome.
And they cook very well.
And do you add anything? What's your Kodiak cake recipe? Because you can add eggs if you want. You don't have to add eggs. Do you add any other add-ins to the mix?
Yes, I always add eggs and then like oat milk or just like some kind of dairy, because I feel like it just makes it taste like better.
It does.
I actually mash a banana into it sometimes, and that I feel like that adds such good like flavor to it because I also put peanut butter on it. So I love like banana and peanut butter, that combo. So I'm always like trying to make stuff that has to do with that.
Awesome. Master pancake chef right here.
Yes.
Would you rather have oat milk or almond milk?
I am obsessed with oat milk. I feel like it mixes in so well. I actually made pancakes for the Kodiak people, and they were just like, because I was flipping them for just like a promo video, and they were all just amazed. They're just like, how'd you get your pancakes so fluffy? Like we can't do this. And I'm just like, I add this and this and this, and they're just like, wow. So I impressed them. So I was like, okay, I feel like I'm definitely at the like a good like pancake knowledge level now.
So post professional running career, you're going to get brought on to Kodiak as like a senior scientist.
Just tell them what to add in all their mixes.
I mean, they might have to make an update to the recipe on the box and start.
Yeah.
That would add a lot.
I'll shoot them an email of my ideas.
Awesome.
I will say, I like recently, within the last month, I swear that the pancakes are sticking to my non-stick pan now. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need to start cooking with butter or not, because typically I don't. But you'll have to.
I do like cooking with butter sometimes. My teammate Marielle has taught me that, and she's a big fan of butter. So she's like, I cooked pancakes with her, and it was just like melt the whole thing of butter. Let the pancake just like dry. But it was funny.
Looking ahead to 2021, obviously a lot is still up in the air. Curious what your thoughts are kind of going into, assuming we have the Olympic trials, the Olympics, everything, kind of what's the overall plan for your spring season, and what events are you going to focus on for the trials?
So for 2021, I think the plan is mostly just to try to mimic as normal of a season as we can, just because I don't know what we're going to be able to get to race if I'm just going to be racing my teammates again. Just obviously they're great competition, so not knocking them in any way. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to race like more outside competition and build a little bit of a spring season. But I think it's just going to be really hit or miss on what opportunities are going to be there and what aren't going to be there. But either way, we'll either be training for that whole lead up to the trials and then hopefully for the best then, and hopefully everything else works out as well. I think there's just a lot of uncertainty in the air. And for me, I'll be focusing on the 5K for sure. Okay. And then I talked a little bit about the 10K. I'm not positive. It's a very like unknown area for me. I've raced it a little bit in college, but I am very interested to see like where I'm at now in the 10K.
Right. 5K, 10K would be a tough double. So would it be one or the other if you went that route, or would there be a shot of trying to double?
I think there's a tiny shot of being able to double because it's actually pretty far apart. Okay. The 5K, the 10K is at the very beginning of the trials and the 5K is later. Of course, there's rounds of the 5K, which would make that a little more difficult, but it's a better opportunity than the 5K 1500 double. That one's a little difficult as they're just so close, but obviously focusing on the 5K, and if Jerry doesn't think the 10K is a good idea, like we'll just straight 5K. I don't see me just doing the 10K instead of the 5K.
If you were making bets, betting odds, what are the odds that one of those events, say the 5K is, and you could also bet on this for men too, that Bowerman Track Club sweeps the top 3 spots in an entire event. So 5K for women, I guess 5K for men, 1500 for men. What do you think the odds are that Bowerman Track Club can make a sweep in one of those?
Wow. That makes me a little nervous talking about that. And don't want to get any heat from other people. I think the chances of I'm just basing it off of our summer. Yeah. I think the 5K for women, it actually looks pretty good. Just having we have such a big 5K powerhouse, and it was fun just seeing how many people we could get under 15 and everyone just improving so much just in a short amount of time. Even we got Elise and Vanessa and Shelby, there's just I can name so many. Right. Emily, it's crazy honestly if everyone's on the line. And then obviously the guys, you got Woody that ran that, and then Mo, and Mo's Canadian.
He'll be a part of the sweep at the Olympics, not the Olympic trials.
He's not gonna be happy for me. Here's that podcast, but yeah, he'll sweep the Canadian trials.
There we go.
Yeah, but with Lopez and I don't know. I mean, the team is looking really good, and I was super excited last year to see what we would do. So now I'm even more excited this year because I feel like we all took a bunch of a lot of growth in our team over the last couple months.
Yeah, definitely. From an outside perspective, it seems like the odds, obviously on the day of the race, anything can happen, but it seems like odds are, pretty decent, especially considering the ability to go into that race kind of with a team mindset too. You see it the Olympics, like Kenya and Ethiopia, they'll work together a lot of times in that Olympic final. And so Bowerman can almost kind of do that the same way at the trials to some extent. So
especially for the 5K.
Yeah, especially kind of working together, pacing for the 5K. So yeah, I'm excited to
do something similar to that at USA's. Since we had 5 people on the 5K at USA's. Yeah. It's coming up a year and a half ago now. But our goal was actually to try to take it out and just run it hard and see we're switching off leads every 800 I think, and we just ran into the small problem of it started raining / it started raining right before our race, and it was just overcast, windy, couldn't hear very well. And then the drum line started and Jerry's supposed to yell at our splits. And we were over here just like, like,
Like,
I don't know, trying to do like quick math by seeing like the time, and it didn't work out exactly how we wanted it to, but for the most part we got like the results we still could have improved, but I think we're gonna work on that for the trials for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. You're obviously still really early in your career, but I'm curious, what do you think, what percent of your success is based on your hard work, and what percent could you attribute to luck?
Ooh, I'd say I'm very determined, and I've always, like, even in college, like my college coach, and even way back to like middle school days and like high school days, I've always been told like I work out very hard, like almost like over my head hard. And my grandpa like mentioned that when I was just like doing laps around like our house and getting timed. He's like, you just like by yourself, it's incredible how much you can push yourself to your like limit. So I think over time, like I have like worked very hard to get to where I'm at, but I can't say that luck isn't in there as well, because even before I won my first national title, like my grandpa has always told me, he's just like, to win something like that, you need to have like hard work ethic, and you need to have a little bit of talent, but you also just need a little bit of luck. And I always like, for those three things to align, you just have to be so grateful, because those kind of moments just don't happen that often. And I always look back on those moments in my career and I'm just like, so happy that they happened, and so happy that like when they happened, and I learned so much from each one. But I've learned even more from my failures of not reaching those points to get back there.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely create your own luck to some extent through the hard work. So
yeah. You have to believe in yourself before to make that luck happen. Because if you're counting yourself out before you even get to the line, like it's not going to count on luck.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're obviously a very good runner. The word on the street is you're really good at knockout basketball. What are you bad at?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely a list of things I'm bad at, but yes, knockout, definitely good. But I would say my earlier years of playing like contact sports wasn't very good. There's definitely stories that like my family loves to bring up, and they love to like show old videos of stuff. But when I was younger, like my first like couple teams in soccer, I think we're called Flower Power, which maybe I got confused with like what the meaning of soccer was, but I was the one like picking flowers in the other side of the field while the group was like picking the ball around. And I guess like my dad's just like, we don't have an athlete, like to my mom, and she's just like, we just gotta wait. And so glad I figured the contact sports out later on, but definitely wasn't like right from the start great athlete by any means. I had to work at it.
When did you switch from trying those other sports growing up to only focusing on running?
I switched right before high school.
Okay.
I really liked soccer, actually, got better at that and enjoyed it. But I think I looked at all these other sports that I was in, and the main part that I was good at was like the running part of it. Yeah. So I was like, I should focus on the one sport that and I've always just been very competitive in running, like compared to other sports. I've been told by many coaches, they've seen me run and they've seen me play like basketball, and they're like, she just has a different mindset when it comes to like being on the track and being on like the cross country course. Yeah,
absolutely. Question about location. So you've lived in a few different places. I grew up in Iowa City, went to Iowa State, so Iowa native as well, just like you. I'm curious, how does Iowa stack up to Missouri, to being in Oregon, to being all the places that you've traveled for, altitude training, for races, etc. What's your top list of places that you like most?
top list of like the best place I've been to for just
Yeah,
training.
been to or lived or anything. Yeah, I'm very curious on how the Midwest stacks up in your overall hit list of good places to be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm biased with the Midwest. Just like a little piece of home, always just with Iowa and even in Missouri as well. I think they're just like the running there is like great, and just love like the community, and there's just so many like little things in the Midwest that you're like, when I'm out here, I'm just like, I miss that, or like I'm ready to be back home. But then you come back home in the harsh winter and I'm just like, okay.
I don't miss that at all.
But I overall, like one of the best places I've been to has been St. Moritz, Switzerland. It is just literally, it's gorgeous. Like it just reminds me of like it's like the cows are just so happy, and like all the animals just like, it's like a storybook. Like you're just like, this is crazy. Like it's like a dream, but it's like gorgeous out there. Highly recommend ever traveling out in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful trails to run. All the food just tastes better there. Chocolate's amazing. Yeah, the beer's great too. Like everything's like very good. But for living wise, I've loved like all the locations I've lived in. Like Iowa, like I love Des Moines. It's such a cute like city. I could definitely, I don't know, see myself back there sometime.
Right.
I really liked Columbia, Missouri. I think that if you're looking for a college with a great trail system, that's where you go, because every day I think I miss those trails. It is just so nice. And then Portland's great too. I love the running community out here, and there's just a ton of like places that you can go and visit for like a day. Like you can go to the coast, you can go to like waterfalls, like there's all these different like fun adventures. So I say there's a little bit of like, I just like all of them in different ways.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, St. Moritz is definitely like the mecca for pro runners to go to when they're racing in Europe. That's where I feel like when you're out there, do you just see a bunch of other pro runners, like out running every day?
It is crazy. Like I thought before I went, I was just like, oh, everyone just overhypes this place. And then I went and I was like, oh, yep, this is like where you want to be, distance runner. Like, and just, you see everyone out there on the trails. And of course I was my first year pro. So I was just like, oh, it's this person and this person. And so it was very exciting and humbling too. But,
yeah. Some questions about Bowerman Track Club. Want to get a little bit insight about the team, your teammates, etc. So as a team, you're all very competitive people. I'm sure similarly competitive outside of running. So what sort of games, what do you all do kind of outside of your time running that you get super competitive about?
We play a lot of like card games or board games, and sometimes like when we're in like the like peak of altitude, like it gets almost too competitive with like certain games that we like have to stay away from some. Like I think there was one camp that we started playing. I'm trying to think what game it was, but it was like one of those like apples to apple, like one of those games where you have to like vote on people, like like, and like you have to like argue your point and why your point was right and stuff. And we had to just like not play that game anymore. It got so competitive, and so like we were just all arguing about like why our points were right. So that one, no. But we really like Catan, and Mario Kart has been pretty fun as well. But yeah, there's I feel like every camp we have like a new go-to game that like is played way too much that camp, and then we exhaust it, then we go to a new one. So
that's awesome.
We're all very competitive, so we have to keep that in mind when choosing the game.
Yeah. So for something like apples to apples, who is like the most outspoken towards their point for that?
Definitely Mariel Hall. Her sister's a lawyer, and she will argue her point to like the end. Like
she's the future like politician or lawyer.
Yeah. Like to the point where you're just like, okay, whatever.
Like, I'll vote for you, please. Just
That's awesome.
It's very fun.
Who who wins the most and who loses the most? Is there anyone who's like notorious for being just good at whatever game you guys decide to play? And is there anyone who's just like,
Definitely.
I do whatever? I like someone that's just like, I lose, but whatever. I'm just not good at these games.
Yeah. Shelby wins a lot of the games. I think she's just, yeah. Or she sometimes will pick the games that she already knows, like Mario Kart. Like she games a lot, so she's just like, let's all play Mario Kart, and then she just like destroys us. And I don't know. I think we're all just so competitive. I don't really see anyone that's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Which is fun too.
Yeah.
Speaking of like games and whatever else you guys play, like, is there anyone on the Bowerman Club that has a secret or like impressive talent that nobody knows about?
Impressive talent that no one knows about. I feel like there's I feel like there's so like many different talents that I don't know if there's any like secretive one though. We did try one camp to learn how to juggle. Still working on that. There was a lot of like almost like I think like cracked open oranges or whatever, like, split from like falling on the ground. And then I feel like we've been trying to find like that like different like hobby or like something, but I don't know if there's, I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
Who on the team would you say is the biggest nerd?
Gaming nerd, I would definitely say Shelby.
Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
What about like in my mind at least, just from a total outsider, like I always think of like Chris Derrick as being like the biggest like academic nerd of the group, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could say that. Yeah, I feel like everyone's just kind of nerdy in their own way. Like we're all runners. I feel like we just have like that kind of personality, and the guys team is so funny to be around because I feel like they're all like just like quick witted and like say those like kind of, I don't know, it's fun.
Awesome. All right, we have a segment on the podcast that we just started somewhat recently. It's called the Spicy Question of the Week. And so it's just a little spicy. We promise it won't be that spicy, but the purpose is we will ask a question that may be a little controversial or spicy. And in order to ask that question, whoever asked it between Adam and I has to finish their drink in order to ask it. So I guess, would you like to ask the question or would you like me to ask the question?
Yeah, I mean, I can ask it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
I promise it's not bad.
Okay.
And you have the right to not answer if you would.
Yeah, we'll just cut it. Ooh, that was painful. Spicy question of the week. Which female and which male on the Bowerman Club is the most wild or like the biggest partier in the off season?
Ooh. Female? I hate outing people, but I would say Shelby probably. But I would say I'm easily influenced.
Oh, I like it.
So I'm going to put myself under the bus. And then on the,
hey there, Simba.
On the guy side, I don't really know. They're all pretty, I feel like they all have their moments, but I wouldn't like peg anyone as I'm like that one for sure.
Consistently above the rest. Okay. Cool. Well, that was not too spicy then.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, not too bad. But good question.
We're going to get into just some rapid fire questions. This segment called the Last Gulp. So basically getting close to closing out here. So just some final questions. You can answer them with just, a yes, no, or a single word, or you can elaborate if you would like. In the first set is going to be food related, since we know that you are a good cook, food related items. So first one to kick off, favorite pie.
pumpkin pie. I love Thanksgiving and I love pumpkin pie.
It's right around the corner. We're getting close.
I'm excited.
So favorite dessert?
Cheesecake. I love cheesecake, but I also love chocolate, but I'd probably always choose cheesecake as my number one dessert.
That's a good one. It's a good one. Favorite beer?
I like ciders, but I also like wheat beer, so I probably lean towards like something similar to Blue Moon.
Perfect.
Similarly, favorite cocktail?
Ooh, I honestly, this is kind of weird, but Dirty Shirley. So it's like a Shirley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone always just like, that's like an old lady drink. I'm like, I love it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm 50 plus at a wedding. Like this is probably what I'm gonna drink.
Yeah. Like, oh, great.
How do you like your coffee?
I love cream. Cream in my coffee. Oat milk is my favorite.
Nice. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
nice and thick.
That's a new fave for me.
Yep.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet all the time.
Yeah, I think we found out the answer to that before we even asked it. Oh, and we already figured out the answer to the next one too. Favorite flavor of Kodiak Cakes, chocolate chip. To the next one, popcorn or trail mix?
Popcorn, definitely.
Okay.
All right. Over under on how many breadsticks at Olive Garden you could eat in one sitting?
Oh, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8. I feel like that's kind of weak, but I was actually talking to someone recently that I think I could eat a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts in one setting, like pretty easily. I was like, I want to try to tell people that I can do it, but
yeah, go out on your long run and then just
come back.
Why not?
I feel like the Krispy Kremes, they're kind of, it's just like that sugar just kind of all dissolves inside of you. So it doesn't really fill you up once you digest.
Yeah, you don't eat. I was eating, we had some like last week and I was just like, I think I could do this. And so stay tuned. That might happen too.
Yeah. Awesome. If you could be a pro in any sport besides running, what would it be?
Probably gymnastics or soccer. I feel like both of those are just really fun sports to watch and would be really cool.
Awesome.
How many holes does a straw have?
How many holes does a straw have? 1?
Ooh, nice. We have a minute. Good answer. No, that's a good answer. I guess we'll give you a little backstory. We won't just leave it at that. I don't know why we've had this debate of like, is a hole or is a straw 2 holes because you think of it like 2 holes, or is it just 1 hole because it's just 1 long hole? And it's like,
I know. I think about it. I was just like, I think it's just 1. I didn't know if there was obvious.
The first couple of people we asked that, it was always 2, and I was like, wow, I'm like out here on the edge thinking that it's
2,
1.
and then now the last couple of people it's 1. So
there you go.
Perfect.
But you don't want another hole in your straw. Imagine if you had like something, it wouldn't work. So it needs to be 1.
That is good logic. Exactly, because then the fluid would just drain out a different hole and it wouldn't go.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think you're spot on. That's good logic. On a similarly weird note, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, I don't think so.
You're so close to yes.
I had to think about that one. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I would call it though either.
Yeah, I don't know what I would call it. Yeah, is
category.
Okay, so that was just your gut just told you to go with that. No specific. Do you have any specific reason for one way or the other?
Because I wouldn't be like, I want a sandwich and then order a hot dog.
That's totally fair.
It just doesn't seem right.
That's totally fair.
All right. Favorite genre of music?
Probably. I just like recent like pop. Probably just like recent hits and stuff. I do like country though at times, but for running wise, I feel like I always need something more upbeat.
Yeah, country is hard to run to.
Very hard.
Unless I'm trying to slow myself down, I've actually gone to country because I'm just like, okay, chill run. We're listening to country.
Yeah, no, that's a good strategy. I like podcasts. I'll only listen to them if I'm like trying to jog, like go really slow. I won't do that if I'm trying to run. How often do you listen to music when you're running?
I love listening to music when I'm running, but I do run with people a lot. So it'll normally be during like my doubles, or
Okay.
every now and then, like I'll just have like a Saturday or like an easier run by myself. So I'll just like go out and listen to music. And sometimes I don't realize how like much I needed that. Sometimes it's just nice to like just escape everything and just go out for a run and listen to music.
Yeah. All right. You mentioned earlier that you got into Netflix a little bit as a pro runner. So what's your favorite series on Netflix?
Ooh, I'm favorite series ever. I feel like that there's so many good ones. I feel like just right now, my favorite series is probably Friends, actually. It's a long time ago that I've watched it, but I love Friends. And I'm watching How I Met Your Mother all the way through right now. So that's been fun because I haven't seen it all the way through. And then and Ozark is what I'm watching right now. So both of them.
Good one.
Very good. Solid shows.
Non-asked for advice. You should watch Queen's Gambit. It's good.
No, I'm watching that right now too.
Okay,
this is really bad. I have 3 different shows. I like to start one and then I'm like, I need to finish.
Favorite social media platform?
Definitely Instagram. Big fan of Instagram.
Seems to be the common consensus among everybody. I think, have you tried TikTok?
I love watching TikToks, but my TikToks, I have a TikTok, but it's mostly Simba. And so I don't think they're quite hitting as much as my running account does. I don't know why. Weird.
Yeah, that's sad.
I know.
All right, last question. You have 1 day left to live and money isn't an object. How would you like to spend your last day?
Probably just I'd take my friends and family and just go to some crazy island, or I don't even know, just probably spending time with them, but also being in a cool place.
I like it. Absolutely. We have to ask, as the Beer Mile podcast, is there ever a future Beer Mile attempt from you at any point?
I was talking to a few teammates that I was like, yeah, I'm on this podcast with the American record holder in the Beer Mile. And then we all started talking about the Beer Mile, and we're just like, what do you think we could run in it? And I think I sparked some interest. So who knows when that would happen, but I'd be very interested to see like what I could do, or what anyone on our team could do.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, do you have concerns with being able to finish 4 beers? It sounds like you can eat a lot between the breadsticks and the donuts and everything else. Like, do you think you could fit 4 beers and still run, or what are your thoughts?
I'm nervous about fitting 4 beers and still running fast, but I think it's possible. I'm not like very like fast at chugging, so maybe I'd have to practice that. But yeah.
Who on your team do you think would be the best beer miler, both guy and girl?
Oh, I think Lopez for the guy side. I don't know why. I just feel like he's like has a hidden talent in the beer mile that he doesn't know about. But girl side, I really don't know. I feel like it'd be very interesting to see. I feel like Elise could probably hold her. I could see her doing like shocking people. I definitely think Shelby could be pretty good, and I'm gonna throw myself in the mix. I think I could hold my own.
Okay.
All right. Post 2020, 2021 games. We'll see
yeah,
how it goes.
Yeah. I don't know if this would be something that you'd be allowed to do with Nike and Bowerman Track Club, but we were talking with Chris Chavez from Citius Mag about getting a pro beer mile together, and we were saying like we'll put up prize money to see who would win that. And so far, verbal confirmation from Craig Engels and Eric Jenkins for post 2021 Olympics.
Yes.
So I'd love to see them take on Lopez, and who knows, Centro, Grant Fisher, whoever on the Bowerman would be good at it. And similarly for the women, I feel like the world record could definitely go down because you're all plenty fast to do it. If you can drink 4 beers, you got it. You could crush the world record.
Yeah, I think all of us definitely should be working on the drinking part, but
maybe in the off season.
Yeah, hopefully just like we can make up for it just in the fitness part.
I think so. Yeah, just practice chugging waters, and then once the season's over, then you can do a few practice runs with the real thing.
Yeah, we'll practice with the water.
Perfect. Awesome. It's been a blast. Any questions or anything else that you would like to plug?
Think that's all, but I'll definitely be working on convincing people for this post 2021 Olympic Games.
I love it. Just tell them we will, well, assuming COVID is, under control at that point, we will be happy to fly to wherever you want to have this event take place, and we will put prize money on the line. So hopefully that'll help incentivize a little bit.
Yes. No, that is great. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you as well. So that was our interview with Karissa Schweizer of the Bowerman Track Club. Great to have her on the podcast. It was awesome to learn more about her life outside of running, as well as her ambitions for 2021 season, and also the potential for the Bowerman Track Club Beer Mile, which we're going to make happen. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But let's get into now reviewing the beer of the week. And we actually have a little spread. We kind of went with the platter approach on this episode. I think we already reviewed the 312 beer from Goose Island on a previous episode, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And so you wanted to, make sure to cover off on the others here. So Goose Island,
the
Chicago
variety
Brewery, the variety pack.
So
we got them all.
So we've got the Green Line. What is this one?
Next Coast
IPA, SPA, and
SPF.
SPF, and what is this one? Villain.
Natural Villain.
Right.
So you got a lager, I don't even know what this is. An ale with passion fruit, IPA. So
you get 3 to review. That's a lot of
I'll review
responsibility.
These 3. All right, let's just fly through these guys. This lager here, Natural Villain, it's fine.
You think it's fine?
It's fine. I mean, it's a beer. It's not. I don't know.
Out of 10 for taste, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's like a 6.
6 for taste?
Yeah, it's like a 6.
So for that one, I'd give it a 7.5 for taste and a 10 for drinkability. I think I can drink like a lot of those.
I agree. Actually, I think this is 5%, correct? So this would actually be, if this was in a bottle with a twist off, good beer mile beer.
Oh yeah,
absolutely good beer mile beer.
Not very fizzy.
Not my favorite just lager to drink, multiple of, but it's a beer.
Yeah, you get tired of it.
Yeah.
So for the SPF, I would give it an 8, so a little bit above that for taste, and then also an 8 for drinkability.
Man, I think I got to go even more than an 8 on the taste on this. This just I'm kind of embarrassed to say so because it's in this cute little pink can.
It's hurting your masculinity.
It kind of is. It's just like this fruity beer. It's kind of, I don't know. It's like
drinking that on a beach, like suntanning, feels amazing right now.
This is kind of like drinking, in a way, this is better than these, but kind of like drinking like a Bud Light Lime or a Bud Light Orange or something like that.
Yeah.
It tastes so dang good.
It's the primo version of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Goose Island SPF, good stuff. I'll give it no, I don't know. There's a lot of good beer out there. I'll give it an 8 on the taste, and I'll give it an 8.6 on the drinkability.
All right.
Yeah. And then next one on the line here, Next Coast IPA. Yeah.
You're saying for an IPA?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of IPAs to begin with.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So I would say that one, grand scheme of things, for an IPA, I'd give it a 7. For taste, and then drinkability, maybe like a 6.
Yeah,
it's a good beer, but you can't drink a lot of that volume.
Yeah, I'll just give it double 5s.
Double 5s,
it's a beer.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of IPAs, we've got the Green Line. What would you rate that for taste?
I like the Green Line better than Next Coast, I think.
For taste?
Actually, I don't remember what the Green Line tastes like. It's been a while. Sure, I'll take a little sip.
We both tested.
We tested negative.
This. When did we do that?
Oh, God, that's way worse. I like the Next Coast better.
Yeah, Next Coast is amazing.
Okay, so Next Coast just bumped up to a 6 or a 7. The Green Line, I know this is on tap everywhere. Like, this is their most common IPA that's out.
It's kind of upsetting because I think this tastes much better. I don't know about drinkability for each of them, though. Like, I think I would drink more of that than this, but I think the taste definitely goes to the Green Line.
The taste goes to the Green Line or the Next Coast?
Sorry, taste goes to Next Coast.
Drinkability goes to the Green Line. Okay, yeah. I think I'm with you on that. Yeah, oh man, the Green Line after having, especially the SPF.
Yeah, the SPF is...
God, that Green Line's pretty bad.
The SPF, like, especially in the variety pack, feels so bougie. You're like, oh, wow.
It does.
I feel like I should be sunbathing right now.
I will say it's 5.5%. That's a free 5.5%. I mean, it's basically free.
It's free real estate.
It's like they know that you're just gonna delete these so quickly in the summer. Like they're just gonna disappear. So
good thing it's winter. All right. So we've got a challenge for our sister, not brother podcast, Peak Too Early. They are 100% washed up runners, also drinkers. We're only 50% washed up, 50% being me. Chris is still in his peak drinking life. We've got a challenge for you. We're going to suggest that we do the 4x40 challenge. You can grab an extra person. Everyone drinks a 40-ounce beer and runs a 400-meter race. We will grab 2 extra people and do the same. If you have any suggestions or alternatives, we will gladly compete in those and whoop your ass in it. What else do you have to say?
Peak Too Early. You've had a few Bowerman Track Club folks on your podcast. We just had Chris on ours, so we thought it was a great time to, spur a little competitive spirit, maybe talk a little shit, and we want to see who's the ultimate podcast for drinking and running, because I think it's down to us two. I would say we're by far number 1 and 2. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but who's number 1? That's the real question. So let's do a competition. We want to do the 4x40, which is 4 people each chugging a 40 and then running a 400. You have the 3 of you on your squad, Steve, Mike, and Trent. We just have Adam and I. So you can find one other person to join your squad for this race. We'll find 2 other people. And let's duke it out. We can have a little virtual competition. Snow, ice, doesn't matter. We can get it done.
Yeah.
But we're also open to, whatever sort of running, drinking challenges that you want to propose. We're not going to turn down any competition. Like we'll take you. So anyway, just a friendly little call out for Peak Too Early.
Yeah. A gentle nudge.
Gentle nudge. Great podcast. Take a listen. So Peak Too Early. I know you're listening to this podcast in full because you just fanboys of us. I get it. Hit me up in the DMs. Hit Adam up in the DMs. Hit either of us up, and we'll make it happen. We can even put some money on the line. I know you guys like to bet as well. Big bettors. I'm willing to throw down a couple bucks, maybe a couple quarters on something. We'll see. If the fans out there, if you have any suggestions for fun little rivalry competitions, running or drinking related between Peak Too Early and Beer Mile Podcast, comment them below, send them to us and to our email, DM, etc. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share the podcast with someone. We got a lot of great guests coming up next, and we really appreciate all of you tuning in and listening. And with that, see a chug, send a chug.